Graham, nice to see you again. I hope you're well. I guess a day on after last night, how do you feel looking back on the game?
My initial thought was that we worked as hard as we could. We gave a soft goal away after being the most positive team in the first 11-12 minutes, and but we still. My feelings, as I said after the game, we were in the game. We could have scored an equaliser. We hit the post. Within a few minutes, they get the second, and in the end, it was a very difficult night. It was a difficult game for us anyway, but the players worked exceptionally hard. I've looked at all the data. It's one of the highest outputs the team has done all season. I think it's the second highest on high speed runs and so forth. So their work ethic was there, but you could see why Notts County have scored nearly 200 league goals in 2 seasons.
I'm looking at the last couple of games especially. One, the timings of the goal, Graham, and you mentioned Harry hitting the post last night. If you look back at the Mansfield game, both at 1-0 and 2-0, you had big chances, didn't you? Have those fine margins almost killed you the last couple of games?
Well, look, it's important, Look, there's things we could have done better defensively, which we've looked at this morning with the defensive unit. But certainly there's two sides of the game, and we've continually sort of missed big chances, important chances at important times. I think sometimes when the goal, the scoreline's level, it gives us the lead, and we haven't done it, and been punished for it. And last night was another occasion that Notts County as an attacking team, their record says for the last 2 seasons they've been exceptional. Really, it's a ridiculous amount of goals, but we certainly had opportunities for us to score, but we weren't clinical enough. We had, I think, 8 or 9 shots from inside the box which we didn't hit the target with, and they're good areas to be getting shots off, but we don't. At the moment, certainly the last couple of games, and maybe before that, been as clinical as we need to be. It is fine margin sometimes. I can't say we deserved to win the game last night. I'm not going to go to that extent, but certainly we should have scored, and it's all about the timing of the goals. If you score the first goal, I think it gives us a great lift, but unfortunately we conceded the first goal.
At that defensive side of the pitch, we were purring over the defensive record, the 5 clean sheets in 6 games. What's happened over the last 3 matches to make us see this dramatic turnaround in terms of that?
Well, look, the third game out, the Forest Green, we concede after 20 seconds, and then or 50 seconds or so from a set piece, which our record from set pieces has been superb up until the last 3 games. I don't think we've conceded any in the league, or very minimal. And then they score a penalty in the last minute when we're just chasing everything, So that weren't happy with the goals, but it wasn't a porous performance, as in there was lots of chances for the opposition, but certainly Mansfield and Notts County. They've stuck 3 and 5 past us, and but they've had lots of chances or shots and threats. But the facts speak for themselves. Like I just said with Notts County, how many they've scored over the last 2 seasons, and Mansfield are currently the top scorers in the division. Scored more than 30 more than what we have. So we've probably hit after the low of getting beat by Forest Green at home and being a hurtful day for us. We've come up against the 2 highest scoring teams in the division, and we've made bad mistakes and to concede at important times at the start of the game, which I probably said 2 months ago or so, that was damaging us at home, but we had eradicated that, and we did it really well, certainly throughout the league campaign, and but unfortunately it's come back to bite us in the last 3 games. I think we've conceded 10 in the last 3 games, but in the previous 12 we've only conceded 6. So that's a massive shift. So long term, I'm not worried about the defensive structure of the team and how we're going to perform going forward. It's more the goal output at either end that we really have to work hard to improve.
How do you then, as the manager, when we are in a period of adversity, go about, Graham, picking your players up, and especially maybe that forward line that you've touched on, just instilling that confidence once again?
Yeah, look, there's a few things you do. You analyse things, you feed back to the players, you show them at their best, you show them how they get their best chances and where they're most clinical. You do it on the training pitch if you can get the time on the training pitch, but it's been extremely difficult with the call-offs we've had. We've just been rammed with game after game after game, so that's limited our time on that. But ultimately, it's just through hard work. There's no shortcut. You can't just show a 2-minute video and then everything comes back. You have to work hard at it. You have to practice. That's why we train. But when the training time is limited, you have to find other avenues of doing that. And ultimately, the players have to dig deep to believe in themselves as well. I would hope they know what we think of them as people and as players. But sometimes you have to have a bit of self-appreciation as well, and don't do yourself down, all the time and have a negative attitude. So we're trying to make the players believe in themselves and give them the tools to be able to have that themselves going forward and not just rely on other people to give them.
We've seen a couple of unbeaten runs during your time at the club already, Graham. I asked Sam Walker earlier today. It is a 7-point gap to that top 7. You have a game in hand. Season coming to a close. Do you still believe in this group of players that they can get into those playoff places?
Well, we're not. Look, after the week we've had, I'm not going to talk about the playoffs. I think we have to take each game as it comes. I think because it sounds silly after certainly the 3 defeats we've had at home in the last week, but factually the points are there to be won, and factually we're not a million miles off it, but the games are running out and we have to perform better at both ends of the pitch than we have done in the last 3 games, or it's irrelevant. So but I believe in going for it and never stopping, never quitting. I think we're trying to instill that in the players and the team and build a culture and an environment here, over time that there's a never say die attitude. And these are the moments when you can show whether you've got it as a group of players and as a group of staff. So it's all about action speaking louder than words. But I'm not a fortune teller. I can't look to see what those remaining 8 games will look like. But if the players work as hard as they did last night and we have a bit more quality at both ends, then we give ourselves the best chance of finishing the season strongly.
Yeah, I guess in a way I totally take your point, by the way, on the last 3 games, but it's kind of in a round way. It is just win the next game and see where it takes you.
Yeah, well, let's just try and win the next game. Where it takes us. I don't think it's going to change too much right now. It's going to take all 8 games. Realistically, to do anything spectacular. So, but thinking about 8 games in one go is too much. So, we just need to focus on the next one. And it's a local game. It's away from home. We had an excellent result in the last away game. We have to draw confidence from that, and if we work as hard as we did last night, because we did, we just need to improve the quality. Certainly in the final third, and that comes from the whole team, not just the front guys. We haven't scored enough from set pieces this year as a team, and defenders go up for them, midfielders go in for them. We haven't scored many from outside the box, so that's something we need to improve as well. So there's a responsibility on the whole squad and the whole staff, and me included, to improve that goal output, because goals win games.
The owner was there for the game with Mansfield, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, Graham, have you had a chance to speak face to face with Stefan, and if so, what was the remit of those conversations?
I met him the day before. I haven't spoken to him since Saturday. But I met him the day before, which was the first time I met him face to face, and we had in this office actually had a real good chat for a couple of hours with Stefan and Ryan, and he just wanted to get my thoughts on what I found at the club and stuff like that, and what we think we need to be successful in the future. That was normal sort of owner manager chat really, and it was disappointing for him to be here on such a disappointing day for us, without a shadow of a doubt. And but I don't think that's the real us. I really don't. I think, like you said, you said about runs of form. We've gone 6 wins on the bounce for the first time since the 80s, and then a period without winning. Then I think 4 weeks ago we were top of the form table. Then we've lost 3 home games on the bounce. It's we're capable of really good results and really good form, but then we're also capable of doing what we've done in the last 8 days, and that's what we need to eradicate. We need to tap into what we did in those good runs against good teams, and beating League One teams in the EFL Trophy and stuff like that. We need to tap into those performances and find the consistency to keep reproducing them.
I'm sure, and by no means am I saying, Graham, it's a quick fix, but in your head, I'm sure there are factors in your mind that you would like to improve on the medium term to take the club to the next level and to get that consistency that we've talked about.
Yeah, well, the next level is consistency. We've hit real good periods of form, so the team has proved in certain spells that we can win games and against very good opponents. MK Dons here, Wrexham away, Derby away. They're tough games which we've done exceptionally well, but we've let ourselves down in other games, and certainly at home. It's no secret that's where our Achilles heel has been this season, and probably in seasons past as well. So it's important that we fix that if we want to be a successful club. We still have a few games here. We have to do our best to finish the season strongly at Valley Parade. We know we've let ourselves down, we've let the supporters down results-wise in the last 3 games, without a shadow of a doubt. We understand that. But there is a determination, I feel, from the group to finish the season in a good way.
And that all begins at Harrogate this coming Saturday. Team news-wise, Graham, have you had a chance to have a bit of assessment on Alex Gilliard after he came off last night?
He's gone for a scan today, so he's actually currently there now. So we because of the time issue between games, we don't really want to wait 3-4 days to see how it settles down. So he's gone for a scan today. We should have the result by tonight, hopefully, and then and see where we are with him. So fingers crossed, it's not another injury to an important player, because I think we've had our fair share of those.
Matty Platt on the bench last night. How close is Matty to a start?
Yeah, he trained today. So he's trained today, which is the second or third day on the bounce with us. He'll train again before the weekend, and then we'll assess whether we feel it's appropriate for him to start or to be in contention for a start, or it might need another few days. We'll speak to Platty himself. We'll get the data from training and so forth. But look, he's chomping at the bit to get back in. We've got to do the right thing and not lose him again by pushing him too early.
Harrogate, the opponents this weekend, have had a pretty remarkable season, haven't they? They're one of the teams in that talks for the top 7. Just what do you make to them as a club and the job Simon Weaver's doing there? Yeah,
look, he's been there an awful long time, and brought him up from the National League. I remember playing against him when I was manager of Salford when we got promoted from that league, and we had two real good battles against them, and then obviously he brought them into the league. Maybe I think it was the season after actually, and done a fantastic job. He's had a really sustained period of time to build, to change the team, to build the culture at that club, and it's in his identity, isn't it? Really, so. It's you have to look at what Harrogate have done as a whole, and you've got to take your hat off to them, for the work they've done. Any team that gains success, however it's achieved, is you've got to say well done.
I know for you, obviously, turning that home form round is a massive priority, Graham. But given the last 3 games, is it welcome that you've got a trip on the road this weekend?
No, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to think like that. I think we, if there's an issue or a problem, running away from it and is not the answer. It's not the way to fix it. It's not the way to be better. So, but we need to see every game of football as an opportunity to win a game and feel good about ourselves and restore the pride from the supporters and the belief and all those sort of things. So I'd avoid that feeling coming into my head, into the players' heads. I don't want to do that. We can't be apprehensive about playing at our own stadium. It's nothing good comes from that. So there's an issue there. There's a problem. We have to fix it.
Finally, from me, it's March of the Day between now and the match at Harrogate. Yeah. I understand you're not taking part in the first leg, Graham.
Yeah.
An amazing cause, a brilliant cause. Yeah. Just how important is it, not just for this football club, but for the wider community to support causes like this?
Yeah, look, it's something that's bigger than football, really, isn't it? What the cause is. It's people's lives, people who have sort of been a massive part of football clubs and careers and other people's lives, and Stephen Darby in particular for Bradford City. His picture is still in the change room with a quote from him, which I find quite inspiring when I read it every time I'm in there, that's it. Almost like I actually looked at the image of him last night leaving the stadium and thinking, look, that's serious issues. Listen, that's not to belittle what we're trying to do here, but that's people's lives. So the cause is unbelievable, really, and obviously Marcus Stewart as well. Myself and Chris Lucchetti both played with Marcus at different clubs, and we, Lenny John Rose, who we both knew, unfortunately passed away from the same disease a couple of years ago. So it's a poignant sort of illness. There's a lot of research that needs to go into it and help, and for that to happen there needs to be cash, and so everyone who can help support the whole weekend, their support is more than grateful for. Everyone is grateful for it, because it's a sad state of affairs, but if anything that we can take from what Stephen and Marcus are going through, it's how they're facing that problem head on and doing something about it and being proactive about it. I think that's we can take great sort of inspiration from that, I feel.
Best luck for the game on Saturday and best luck for the leg on Friday. Cheers, Graham.
Thank you.
Hi, Graham.
Hi, mate.
I was going to say, Louis asked a lot of what I was going to ask, but you're saying about obviously not making a thing about home or away, but it is only your 3rd away game in 12, which is, it's sort of a bizarre way the fixtures have landed, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is, and look, and it is difficult at the moment. It's not a reason, but playing on that pitch every 3 days. I think 5 of the last 6 games have been on it. It's not helped the pitch at all. And it's not been easy for the players to play on it. It's not an excuse for the last 3 results. It hasn't made us make the decisions we've made in those games. But yeah, it's I think it is quite unusual. I think you just get used to being home away and getting that sort of that feeling, the different environment. But we haven't had that. It's been pretty solid here, and but the results haven't been good enough for us to have or to be in a position really right now to achieve what we wanted to do. We still have to try and do that with the remaining games, but we've had a cup semi-final, which obviously the first time we've been to that level as a club, the semi-final of that competition, and unfortunately lost it in heartbreaking circumstances, but and it's been a difficult run since then, with the games. But listen, like I keep saying, we have to, over 10 months and 50 games, you're going to have so many different challenges and hurdles to overcome, and we have to be good enough as a squad to overcome them. So whatever's thrown our way, we have to take it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned the Wycombe game. I was going to ask you, I mean, do you think that perhaps took a bit more out of people than you perhaps anticipated at the time, in terms of the disappointment, having done so much and gone so close to sort of see it, yanked away like it was?
Could well be, yeah. It was a big game. It was a massive opportunity for us. We played exceptionally well, and like you say, it was how we did lose it. It was gut wrenching, really. But I don't know. I didn't want to make a big deal of it. I knew the feelings. We had the same feelings. We all wanted to win. We all wanted to get to Wembley final. But for me, you have to swallow the pain. You have to deal with it, and you have to crack on and not feel sorry for yourself. I'd be disappointed if that is the underlying reason that we've had a dip in form. I wouldn't be surprised, because, like I say, we're all emotional people. We all have feelings. We all want to be successful, but if we want to be successful, we have to be stronger than that, because disappointments happen all the time in football, and you have to overcome them.
Yeah, and obviously, on going back on the injury front, I was going to ask you about Sam Stubbs, because obviously, he got the whack. Is it a bit more serious than perhaps was thought at the time?
He's got a small fracture just above his eye, so he's seen a specialist. He's going to see another one today for a second opinion. So we're waiting to hear what that is, whether he can continue to play, whether he needs any surgery, whether he needs to wear a mask, which players have done. So we're just waiting to hear that back. Well, it'll be tonight. He's got the appointment. So it's a little bit of an unknown situation at the minute. It's a bit of we're just trying to get to the bottom of it for the sake of Sam more than anything, because it's we don't want to risk anyone's health. But it was from that challenge against Doncaster, which amazingly he got booked for at the time, and unfortunately it was the injury was the other way around.
Yeah, and as you say, it's frustrating for him, because he got back in the team, he was playing well, and then through no fault of his own, it's suddenly yanked away, and then. Yeah,
but it's we've been continually losing players, since we got here, with Jamie Walker and Alex Patterson and Jake Young coming back, and then losing him, Tyree Wright, Matty Platt, Sam Stubbs, Ash Taylor. It's there's been a lot of senior players and recognised players. So. But especially when it's listen, contact injuries happen all the time. They're part of the course. It's a physical game, and Stubbsy got it from putting his body on the line and trying to win the ball. But there's things, muscle injuries and that. I think we can, and the players can help themselves to be better. But it was unfortunate for Stubbsy, because, like you say, he was playing well.
Yeah, and Ash Taylor, how close is he getting now? Is he getting a bit closer?
He's getting a bit closer, but we still haven't seen him on the grass with us. So I still think it'll be a few weeks yet, because it's been a little while now. I think he tried it a couple of weeks after doing it and thought he could train again, but it just got worse. So that probably set him back a little bit. And it's maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I feel.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jake Young. Obviously, so there might have been outside chance that he might be back again this season. I mean, how's his progress doing?
He won't be back. I don't think because of the nature of the injury. And he's had surgery. We don't want to, risk maybe for 1 or 2 games unless we're absolutely 100% sure that there's no potential further damage. Listen, this is in the future, because he's nowhere near right now. But my gut says, and the information says, that he'll be next season. I think for the long-term benefits of Jake, that's probably the best course of action anyway. But look, I could be surprised and he can get back before the end of the season. It'd be great. I'd love the option to have him available, but we have to do the right thing by the player as well.
Yeah, so all being well, he's like an inverted commas a summer project for you, isn't he? In the sense that you could have him back start of pre-season.
Yeah,
fit and rearing to go, hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I see him in the future now. In the plans, because we brought him back. We had the period where he came back with an injury. He was out for 3 weeks, and then he got in the team, and we were really excited about the potential for him. Because he, the whole purpose of January was to improve our firepower. We brought Jay Young back. We brought Tyreek in, who scored a couple of goals. We brought Callum Kavanagh in, who scored a couple of goals, but is away on international duty, unfortunately. So we've tried to improve the issue that we had with the players, but unfortunately we lost Tyreek for another month, and then Jake again. So but it'll be when he's ready for pre-season. For me, it will be like having a new player, because I've had such a limited time working with him, unfortunately.